Nezuko.
What is up everyone, this is Keka the Otaku and welcome to my second video on the channel. The first ever review video of the series Honest Reviews. This is where I'll be giving you my personal opinion about a certain anime, presenting you the pros and the cons that I felt were important for the review, and give you my final score. Spoilers, you can check out the score for this anime on my Mal if you want, link is in the description. And what best way to start with one anime in which I have the most mixed feelings about? And that is, yes, Sword Art Online. I like to extend my anime tastes to almost every genre. However, when it comes to isekai, I think I can never love it enough. If you check out my anime list, you'll probably notice that. Even though SAO is technically not an isekai, the story still happens in a virtual world. So for the sake of the argument, let's consider it an isekai. I watch anime because I love it. However, in my subconscious, I know it is a great form of escapism, hence the reason isekai is, in my opinion, the best genre that represents that urge to escape reality. Because it's the best personification of an imaginary world filled with adventure and wonder where you can feel immersed with the story and the characters. A few days ago, I was discussing with a friend of mine what would be the anime that we should check out next. Since I did watch SAO a few times, I convinced her to watch it, as it would be interesting to know her thoughts, and at the same time it would allow me to remember certain details for the purpose of doing this video. Even though I was skeptical that she would probably dislike this anime, guess what? She actually did enjoy it. Knowing her tastes, I had the feeling she would somehow give up midway and call me a bad friend or something. That didn't happen, hopefully. By the way, friend, if you're watching this video, I'm still waiting for your score though. Even though I was experiencing some tough moments trying to digest some of the stuff that was going on in certain episodes this time around, it was a good experience to remind me how I still struggle with this anime. When it comes to Sword Art Online, I know a lot of people that enjoy it. I also know a lot of people that really hate it, and that's totally fine. I mean, it is a matter of opinion, right? We all know SAO left its mark in 2012. It became quite popular all around the world for its unique premise, having a story around a main character that immerses himself in a deep dive virtual reality MMORPG game in which the senses are stimulated through a piece of modern tech, where you could meet other people and share that experience. The story kicks off with a young boy named Kirito, a beta tester of this virtual world called Sword Art Online in which he's about to experience. And oh boy, if only he knew what was coming for him. On the launch day, a lot of people gathered to play the game for the first time, to check out the mesmerizing environment, its combat mechanics, and meet up with friends and start off the journey. However, not everything goes smoothly, as the game's creator assembles all players in order to reveal his ultimate plan, by telling everyone that they are trapped inside this virtual world, and the only way to live it is to beat all 100 levels of the game. However, there's a catch. If you die in-game, your brain will literally fry in the real world, which will lead to your ultimate death. Well, okay then. Our main protagonist, Kirito, having this obsession with games and computers in general ever since he was a kid, he now must put his skills to the test in order to survive. Along the way, he meets up with a lot of different characters with different personalities and objectives in mind, including one of them being the other main character of the series called Asuna, who seems to be a strong-willed female young lady that has a big impact on Kirito and the story overall. The question now is, did I enjoy SAO? Well, yes, I did. But was it good though? Kinda. Since this anime is quite popular, along with it came a lot of controversy. Don't get me wrong, there are good aspects about this anime, but I'm not a fanboy enough to say everything was perfect because it is far from it. I did enjoy it when it first came out. Back then, I was however a 17-year-old teenager in what not better time to actually connect with these characters and let my imagination go wild. Search on Google when the deep dive virtual world will become a thing and pest every friend I had in school to discuss about it. I rewatched it last year and so I did now with my friend, and the experience was not the same at all as it was when I first watched it. To be fair, there are things the anime gets it right. That being the combat and the animation around. The action had one of the most stunning visuals I've seen in anime. This was true, especially for the most climatic fighting scenes of the show. Not only the combat animation was on point, but the visuals that the anime was trying to show were gorgeous. Most of the fighting scenes are examples of good quality combat art style, from Kirito being able to dual wielding, to Asuna, for example, using fencing techniques with her foil. Along with that, this anime gives a nice representation of how characters interact with the game's UI, how the different MMORPG elements are presented, and the struggles a normal player would have to face against boss battles. Hence the importance of team play, right? Going more in depth, it is quite intriguing how the gamers would adapt to the virtual world and live in society, using the game mechanics to live their lives as best as they could and as normal as possible. Not only that, one thing I cannot deny is the quality of the soundtrack. It was so good. Even to this day, every time I hear it, I have tears coming to my eyes of how exciting it feels to hear it. The soundtrack fits perfectly with the anime, and each theme goes pretty well with each situation, whether it be meeting up with your fellow comrades in a tavern, or to when you prepare yourself to a fight boss battle in a grandiose and thrilling environment, or even when you meet your beloved and share a romantic moment. It really is memorizing to hear such quality soundtracks, and I think that such themes made by the composer Yuki Kajira will be one of the positive aspects that I will be remembering for years on whenever Sword Art Online comes to my mind. On a more narrative point of view, the first episodes were pretty good. The plot was set on a serious and dark tone. You could feel the importance of surviving for the characters and how much they would struggle in order to survive. Some people creating clans to help each other out, while others straight up became criminals by PKing in order to take as much as they could. Seeing Kirito acting like this cocky bastard for being a beta tester in front of everyone did seem he would have this interesting and complex personality. Apart from that, a lot of comedy scenes start to make their appearance, especially with the introduction of Asuna in Kirito's journey. From them waking up on the grass after dozing off all day, to the cooking scenes and much more. However, there are some things that need to be said about SAO that didn't really go well to me. I did read the light novels and even the manga, and oh boy, how I felt the first arc was very rushed. I do understand that anime production studios that Jesus use a 24 format episode, and even nowadays they tend to use a 12 episode format because, well, the industry is growing so fast that they need to keep up with the demand. However, the whole season had a poor structure. The anime name is SAO, Sword Art Online, for God's sake. They should have given more importance to the first arc. Nevertheless, not only that, but the narrative has a lot of inconsistencies as well. After the first arc, the only thing it got graved in my head is how much Kirito was able to be a chick magnet, getting all girls to fall for him without even trying. Hello? Yes, I'd like to have some coaching, please. Flirting? Yes, definitely. Flirting with girls, please. No skill required, please. Just by looking at me, of how badass I am. Thank you. Jokes aside, most of the characters really are underdeveloped compared to the reading material. Kirito himself tries to be a badass, but at the same time he tries to look as emotionless as possible. Even though, after meeting up with Asuna, he does loosen up a little. Speaking of Asuna, do you remember how I said she was a strong-willed and independent woman? Well, wrong! After meeting up with Kirito, she starts becoming this bland and generic girl that really does seem hopeless and can't do anything on her own. Besides that, she does seem to have this boring personality, which is not how she's portrayed in the light novels. She does have this complex personality, as she's portrayed to be a strong-willed character that has an opinion of her own. You can see that when she expresses her stubbornness about all kinds of subjects. And she goes beyond than just being a lover for Kirito, which is not how she's seen in the anime. Once they get together, she doesn't seem to speak about anything else besides wanting to be with him forever and whatnot. Nevertheless, both in the anime as well as in the light novels, she does become this overprotective girlfriend, in which I find quite interesting. Props to you, Asuna. You got your point. Another example of bad pacing is their relationship development. It scales up pretty quickly to the point where one day they start hanging out and do quests together and whatever, and the other day they are married, they buy a house in-game, play the parent role with a kid they found one day in the forest? I mean, where in the f*** is the common sense? I mean, sure, they can't show everything on a 24 episode format, but still, get your shit together. Speaking of progression, the narrative seems to derive too much from the main story. we see a lot of filler episodes instead of focusing on showing the important aspects and the objective of this anime, which is beating the different levels, how they struggle, which would be a more interesting approach considering how they could give extra development to other characters and add layers to the plot. When it comes to the other characters, they do seem to pretty much be the definition of supporting characters. They barely have any screen time, and whenever they make an appearance, they show this boring personality and underdeveloped character with such lame and generic lines. Once we hit the second arc, it is the point where shit hits the fan, literally. We dive into a new virtual world this time around with another environment and plot. However, the tone itself becomes once again too serious in the beginning, but this time for no apparent reason. There's a new objective set in place, which makes everything else seem to be obsolete. The new world itself, the mechanics, the new characters introduced in game, heck, even Kirito's sister, who has a big role in this arc and seems to have a multi-layered personality, seems to be of no importance whatsoever. Without spoiling it too much, a new villain also makes its appearance. But this time, oh boy, this one is really a weird one. We're talking about a hysterical adult that has a strong appeal for being a disgusting pedophile. Yes, you heard me right. Just remembering some of the scenes, oh my god. Not even his looks in game seem to be right. Look at this. What the f is this? Of course, this guy has a bigger objective in mind, which I will not be revealing in the video, but he lacks all sorts of personality to even being considered a proper antagonist. Not only the world and the characters get lost in the midst of the narrative, but the writing takes a definite turn for the worse, with a lack of sense when certain events start to occur around Kirito. That would make him the new Goku from Dragon Ball, surpassing obstacles that shouldn't be possible to break through, just for the sake of making him look like an OP badass main protagonist. Despite all of this, SAO became quite well known back when first came out, even to this day, pumping out new seasons, as we'll be having the last part of the third season of SAO coming out in July. By the way, you can check out the video I made about my anime summer recommendations for 2020, link in the description. No wonder many people, especially gamers, pretty much use this anime as a form of escapism to feel immersed with the world and its characters, and it is pretty much everyone's wet dream of playing an MMORPG in your mind with your friends. Such thing is just a dream. Even with the current technology, we're pretty much light years away from achieving such things as we see here. Even though some of the moments didn't make much sense, however, the fun and enjoyment was still there. Even to this day, I wish I could take part of such an incredible adventure like Kirito and his friends. If you like games, especially MMORPG, this anime is the right thing to you. Or maybe not. There's a better version of that in which I'll leave it for another video. But hey, I think they should just adapt the whole SAO progressive into an anime and everything will be fixed. I highly doubt about that, but hey, it's worth the dream about it, right? SAO is not this masterpiece as many fanboys will claim, but it would be unfair to say that this was a garbage anime like many haters claim to be. Of course, I'm talking about the first season. The second season, I'll leave it for another day. And with this, guys, my final verdict for Sword Art Online will be a score of 5 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed my content, subscribe to my channel and like the video. I'll be continuing to post anime videos on the channel, as I have a lot of fun making these videos for you guys. You can leave me your recommendations about what I should talk about next in the comment section. And that's it, folks. Don't forget to watch your daily dose of anime, because it's good for your brain and heart. Take care, and I'll see ya on the next video.